Good morning, grade fives, and welcome to another English lesson with me, Miss Kun. Remember that if you've got any questions, please email them to grade5@WorksheetCloud.com. So I actually just wanted to ask, how are all of you doing? How are you doing? How is your learning? Are you able to manage the work? Are you able to understand and follow? I just wanted to remind you again how wonderful you are and how amazing you are, because you are sitting, you are watching me, you're learning, you're listening, and you are growing. So well done. Give yourselves a pat on the back because you are just going from strength to strength. So keep it up. And today is something that you'll practice, something we've done before, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So the joke for today is the following. How does the moon cut its hair? How does the moon cut its hair? Well, eclipse it. So eclipse, so when you see an eclipse it. Right. I enjoyed it. Okay, so boys and girls, we are going to do another comprehension today. I know that we have done a few already, but it's just, remember I've spoken to you before about comprehensions, that they are so important in English because it does require higher order thinking. It requires inferencing as well. Remember, the word inferencing means taking your knowledge plus the information from the text, putting the two together and coming up with your own idea, your own conclusion, your own information or answers based on those two components. And remember, another word for inferencing is reading between the lines. And so it is just such an important skill, and I thought, let me try and do as many comprehensions with you as possible, because remember, the more exposure you get to comprehensions, the more exposure you get to different types of texts, the more confident you're going to feel with English, right? And today's comprehension is actually a cool one because this particular text is actually from a play. So what we're going to be looking at today, this particular play is called Wishes Come True, right? And it starts off at the beginning of this play. Ma and her 11-year-old daughter, Sandy, are in the kitchen of their humble home. Ma is sweeping the floor. Later on, they are joined by a confident and mysterious stranger. Okay, so this is a type of text that we haven't done before. We have looked at poetry, we've looked at stories, but now we're actually going to be looking at questions based on extracts from a play, which is something different, but something really cool. So I love drama. I did speech and drama when I was even in school. And so I hope that you'll probably see that I'm going to light the characters up, and if you want, join in with me, pause it and get somebody else, and it's really cool. Okay, right. So remember, the steps of a successful comprehension is, firstly, step 1, read the text once first, and then you stop. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me move myself to the very top. All right, so I'm going to read the different characters. You can follow as I go along. I wish our house was bigger and smarter. I've wanted a new lounge suite and a dishwasher forever. Oh well, at least I can dream. So it's, now remember, in a play, I just wanted to say that in brackets, the brackets show instructions or they give directions. And so you don't always read the instructions, but what I'm going to do is that I am going to read them as well. Okay, so Marlon puts the broom away and starts making supper. Sandy comes in and flops onto a chair at the table. Is supper ready, Ma? I'm starving. No, if I had help, maybe it would be. I wish you did have help and that I had someone to pick me up from school. Someone to pick you up? I wish it was me in a fancy sports car, but that's never going to happen. the sound of a doorknob rattling and a door opening. Ma, what was that? Someone's here. Then there's a stranger. Nothing can be done, and it's never going to happen. Are you sure about that, Ma? You have been wishing for a bigger and smarter house, a lounge suite, a dishwasher. Are you sure that's all you wish for? Well, since you're asking, I'd like an iPad or a cell phone, or what about DSTV? What would you like, Ma? I was passing and I heard you talking. I have the power to grant you 3 wishes, but I must warn you that you only have 3 wishes. Be careful. Don't waste them. Ma and then Sandy, they look at each other in disbelief. Then the stranger exits off the stage. Ma, turning to ask the stranger a question, looks around for the stranger. What a pity! He's gone! Just when I thought our lives could change. Oh well, but anyway, let's have our supper and talk about the 3 things we would have chosen. Oh no, macaroni cheese! I wish we were having ribs and chips. As she finishes, her words, ribs and chips, appear on their plates. Oh, Sandy, see what you've done? Now we only have 2 wishes left. You've thrown away a wish. I wish that rib was stuck to your nose. The rib then sticks to Sandy's nose immediately. Sandy feels her nose and runs to the mirror. Ma! Ma! Oh, Sandy, I'm so sorry. I was angry. Let me pull it off. Pulling at the rib, which is now stuck. Oh no, we only have 1 wish left. What will it be? Wish it off. I can't go around with this rib on my nose. No matter what cool things we have, people will still laugh at me. Right. Okay, so that was our play. Now, step 2, we're now going to go through the questions. Okay, so let's have a look at these questions. So it says, answer the following questions. Question number 1, what do you think happened next? So remember that I've only taken a portion of the play, and so what do you think happens next? Number 2, list the things Ma and Sandy wished for. So what did each of them wish for? Number 3, which 2 wishes did they have granted? So they got 2 out of the 3 possible wishes, and which 2 were granted? Number 4, who or what do you think the stranger was? Number 5, why do you think the stranger appeared? Why? And number 6, what would your 3 wishes have been? Okay, so there are 6 questions to this comprehension. We've read the text and or the extract once. We've now read the questions. The next step, step 3, is now we are going to read the text again for a second time. Okay, right, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's go through it again. I wish our house was bigger and smarter. I've wanted a new lounge suite and a dishwasher forever. Oh well, at least I can dream. Sandy then slouching on her chair. Is supper ready, Ma? Oh, I'm starving. No, if I had help, maybe it would be. I wish you did have help and that I had someone to pick me up from school. Pick you up? I wish it was me in a fancy sports car, but that's never going to happen. Then the sound of a doorknob rattling and the door opening. Ma, what was that? Someone's here. The stranger walks in. Nothing can be done and it's never going to happen. Are you sure about that, Ma? You have been wishing for a bigger and smarter house, a lounge suite, a dishwasher. Are you sure that's all you wished for? Sandy, then looking very shocked and excited. Well, since you're asking, I'd like an iPad or a cell phone. What about DSTV? What would you like, Ma? The stranger then says, I was passing and I heard you talking. I have the power to grant you 3 wishes. But I must warn you that you only have 3 wishes. Be careful. Don't waste them. Oh, what a pity. He's gone. Just when I thought our lives could change. Oh well. But anyway, let's have our supper and talk about the 3 things we would have chosen. Oh no, macaroni cheese. I wish we were having ribs and chips. Then the ribs and chips appear on their plates. Oh, Sandy, see what you've done? Now we only have 2 wishes left. You've thrown away a wish. I wish that rib was stuck to your nose. The rib then sticks to Sandy's nose immediately. Sandy feels her nose and runs to the mirror. Ma! Ma! Oh, Sandy, I'm so sorry. I was angry. Let me pull it off. She pulls at the rib, which is then stuck. Oh, no! We have only 1 wish left. What will it be? Wish it off. I can't go around with this rib on my nose. No matter what cool things we have, people will still laugh at me. Okay, right. So now that we have, according to the steps of our comprehension, we have read the extract once. We have gone through the questions. We have now read it for a second time. Now we are going to answer the questions. So I'm going to put the questions on again for you. And once I finish reading through the questions again, with your paper and your pen or pencil, I would like you to answer them. And remember to answer in full sentences. So the first question was, what do you think happened next? So if the story continued, what do you think happened next? Because it ended quite abruptly. Number 2 says, list the things Ma and Sandy wished for. So do you notice that I have put the key words of what the question is actually asking in a different color? And remember, I do encourage you to do this. In any future comprehensions that you come across, or any language questions or anything, what is the key question words that is expected of you? And with your highlighter or a pen, circle it, highlight it, underline it. Make sure that you know what is the key concept of that particular question. What is expected of you? And that question word is important. If it is a what question, you need to say what it was. You don't say how, and you don't say a why. You don't say a when. You have to say what it was. Be very specific and make sure you answer the question accordingly. Don't just start waffling on about something else. Right. Number 3 says, which 2 wishes did they have granted? Number 4 says, who or what do you think the stranger was? So it can be a who. If you remember, a who indicates a person, or what can be something that is an object or something mythical, for example. Number 5 says, why do you think the stranger appeared? So why do you think the stranger appeared? And number 6, what would your 3 wishes have been? Right. So very straightforward questions, boys and girls. Please, I encourage you all to pause the video, answer the questions. There's only 6 questions in full sentences. And remember, full sentences means you start off with a capital letter, you end off with a full stop. And if you have Ma or Sandy, their names in your particular answer, they are proper nouns and they also need a capital letter. Right. So now I hope that you have completed all of your answers and we are ready to go through our answers together. So let's have a look. Remember that with your answers as we go through them, I would encourage you all to possibly get a red pen of your own or a green pen or a pencil or anything to mark, because it is important that you mark and you know exactly where you went wrong, or if you are correct and you're on the right track, you do need some feedback of some kind. Okay, so question number 1 says, what do you think happened next? Now, it is important where it says what do you think happened next, because it does require a bit of inferencing over here as well, because your answers will all be different. It depends how much of your answer you have put. So there's plenty that could happen next, but the most obvious answer based on the information of the text is that Ma probably used that last wish. They had one more wish left, and Ma used that last wish to wish the rib off Sandy's nose, because remember she then said, I don't want to walk around looking like this, please wish it off, because now it was sort of glued to her nose. Okay, so any type of answer, but remember, do you see that I have used a full sentence starting with a capital letter ending the full stop? I haven't just stated an answer, it is in a full sentence, and your spelling also needs to be correct. Okay, number 2, list the things that Ma and Sandy wished for. So they wished for a bigger and smarter house, a new lounge suite, a dishwasher, a fancy new sports car. Ma also wished for a rib to be stuck on Sandy's nose. Right. Sandy wished for a cell phone. She wanted an iPad. She wanted a DSTV. She also wanted a few different things. Right. So when we say list, it is literally just making a list of all the things. Do you see how I've made a list? I've put a semicolon over here between my list. You can also list one underneath each other, so both types of answers are acceptable. Right. And number 3 says, which 2 wishes did they have granted? So out of all the wishes that both Ma and Sandy wished for, out of the things that they wanted, what were the 2 things that actually did come true? So the first thing was that Sandy got the ribs and chips. So she got them on a plate. She says, I wish for ribs and chips. And all of a sudden, the ribs and chips appeared. So she got her ribs and chips. And the second wish that they got is Ma then said, oh, I wish the rib was stuck to your nose. And so it did. The rib then got stuck to Sandy's nose. And those were the 2 wishes out of the 3 that they got that were granted to them. Right. Question number 4. Who or what do you think the stranger was? Right. Now, again, this is a typical inferencing question. It did not specify that the stranger was this or the stranger was that. Okay. It was a man, was a woman, it just said the stranger. And so now we need to use our knowledge based on the information from the text to think about what that stranger was. So the stranger is clearly somebody with magical powers of some kind. So like a fairy godmother or a genie or somebody that has got magical powers that is able to grant 3 different wishes. Question number 5. Why do you think the stranger appeared? So why do you think the stranger appeared out of nowhere? And there's a reason why the stranger appeared in this particular story or this particular play. So the stranger appeared to teach Ma and Sandy a particular lesson, and we can take a moral out of the story, away from the story, is that firstly, be careful what you wish for, because if you don't think about things will come to you and you can regret it. Okay, and also to be sort of grateful for what you do have. So be careful of what you wish for, boys and girls. And the very last question, what would your 3 wishes have been? So this is a complete own answer type question. You do get these types of questions quite often with comprehensions, where they do ask your own opinion, your own answer. But my only advice to you is that your answer has to be something, firstly, it has to be logical. Your language, all your rules still apply. Your spelling, your punctuation, your grammar, your everything still applies. And here is your chance to be creative. So what would your 3 wishes have been? And so if you had to close your eyes and you had to make a wish, What would your 3 wishes right now, if I say to you, okay, boys and girls, close your eyes and make a wish. What would you wish for? What would those 3 specific wishes be? And what would they be? And so something to think about, something for you to maybe share and discuss with others. Go and tell people in your home and say, right, what would you wish for if you had 3 wishes? And it's very common. You're not allowed to say, oh, I wish for another 3 wishes, or I wish for another 10 wishes. That type of wish is not allowed. That is like a little cheat. But if you had 3 types of wishes, 3 wishes, what would they be? Something to think about, and something to end today's lesson off with. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this comprehension. I've really enjoyed it because of the message and the moral that we can take away from that extract, as well as just to sort of use your imagination and be creative. If you had your 3 wishes, what would you wish for, and why? Why would you wish for that? And share it with others, or maybe just sit there and by yourself and think, what would your 3 wishes be? So grade 5s, in our next lesson, I will be doing the language part of this extract, and we will look at the language part using the same extract and the same play, but we're going to be doing a little bit of language, which is a summary or a combination of all types of language components that we have done so far. But with that, have an awesome day, and I shall see you next time. From me, Miss Kun, Hakuna Matata, and remember to be kind to one another. Bye.